Hello and welcome to WCBN Sports here in Houston, Texas. My name is Jake Singer, and I am here to watch and listen for you all to the Shriners Classic. Michigan baseball will be playing many different teams this weekend. They start with TCU today. TCU comes in number 10th in the country. They are ranked, they are ready, and they're ready to take on the Michigan Wolverines, who come in 4-4 on the day. Michigan this weekend will be playing TCU today, Texas Tech tomorrow, and they will finish the Shriners Classic against Louisville on Sunday. So a lot of really great matchups for you all this weekend. I'll be here for today and tomorrow's matchups, so I recommend that you all stick with me, not just for today's game, but tomorrow against a highly ranked Texas Tech team. We have just about 20 minutes until game time, so don't feel like you have to sit down just yet. Feel free to stretch it out, go to the bathroom, get some water. I just want to let you all know that I am here in Houston, Texas, ready to go, and we'll be back up and running in just a few minutes. Stay right there. Hello and welcome to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports here on March 3rd of 2023. My name is Jake Singer, and I will be your play-by-play commentator today for Michigan Baseball as they take on the 10th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs. We're here in Houston, Texas, in Minute Maid Park, where the Houston Astros played the world champions of MLB baseball last season. We have a really fun one on tap here. Michigan's coming into this game at 4-4. They just split last weekend series, most notably their losses to Michigan State, but then they bounced back and beat Grand Canyon University in a really good battle. And today they're going to be facing their toughest test of the season with TCU. TCU, on the other hand, is 5-3. They lost to Vanderbilt this past season, but they came back and they beat a lot of good teams as well in the Texas and California areas. So both teams are looking for a win. Both teams are looking for a statement win at that. And we're going to have a really fun one on tap for you all today. Your lineups for today's contest. For the TCU Horned Frogs, Austin Davis will lead off for the Horned Frogs. Elijah Nunez in second. Braden Taylor in the 3-hole. Curtis Byrne to man the cleanup spot. Trey Richardson in the 5 spot. David Bishop, Luke Boyers, Logan Maxwell, and Anthony Silva to round out that TCU lineup. On the mound for the Horned Frogs is Ryan Vanderhee. Ryan Vanderhee is 16-21 for the Horned Frogs this season. He is 0-1. He has an ERA of 4.22 and 10.2 innings pitched. He's led in 5 earned runs, 12 strikeouts. So the Wolverines will have a pitcher who strikes out a lot of batters. They also can take advantage of him. He seems to force a lot of contact, and the Wolverines can take advantage of that. On Michigan's side, Cody Jeffress will be the leadoff. Tito Flores will follow him up. Ted Burton in the 3-hole. Gabe Sotras, the freshman catcher, will be the cleanup hitter. Jake Marty, the senior, at 5. Mitch Voigt, another freshman, in the 6th. Jack Van Memorial, the 5th year, is going to be in 7th. Brandon Lawrence in 8th. And Greg Pace Jr., the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, will be the 9th batter here for the Michigan Wolverines. For the Wolverines on the mound, they will see Connor O'Halloran, their day 1 starter. He is currently 2-0 on the season. He was their most polished pitcher last season, and this year he's come in with a 1.12 ERA, so just following up a terrific performance last season. It's great to see him playing as well as he is right now, and he's looking to shut down this number 10th ranked TCU Horned Frogs offense that this season has been pretty powerful. As a team, TCU is batting .292. They have a .415 on-base percentage, .408 slugging. They've hit 4 home runs this season and have 16 stolen bases in 20 attempts. So TCU really likes to get on base, and when they're on base, they like to run around the bases a lot, and that is what contributes to their runs. I saw TCU stats a little earlier. In 17 innings this season, they've had 2 runs or more scored. So that's a lot of innings. When they score 1 run, they score multiple after that. So Michigan has to look to lighten that load today and hope to prohibit TCU from scoring a lot of runs in a lot of different innings. Michigan, though, comes in a little bit behind TCU in the offensive category. In 8 games played this season, they are batting .252 as a team with a .363 on-base percentage, .385 slugging. They have 6 home runs and 7 stolen bases on 8 attempts. Michigan's one weakness, which they had weakness last season, even the season before that, was Michigan's weakness last season was their bullpen. The bullpen was really struggling last year, and they're really struggling this year. Again, they have a 6.91 ERA with a 1.8 WHIP with only 56 strikeouts to TCU 79. So it's something to keep in mind today as you see Michigan coming to face this really hot and strong TCU team. We just had the managers walking back to their dugouts. They just spoke to the umpires, and we're about to get some ball in action really, really shortly. As I said, we're just waiting for the teams to take the bases. Both teams are huddled up around their dugouts. They're showing a hype video for Michigan right now on the scoreboard. I'm assuming they're going to show TCU next. Small crowd here today, but nothing. But it's not completely small. It's great to see Michigan fans and TCU fans coming out here in Houston, Texas. We finally see Connor O'Halloran take the mound as they're playing the Wolverines fight song, and we're going to get some guys warming up here. Few things to note for today. I would look at Michigan's two freshmen, Gabe Sotris at catcher and Greg Pace Jr. in center field. Greg Pace Jr. just won Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Gabe Sotris is having a pretty solid season. He's filling in currently for the injured Jimmy Obertop, one of Michigan's premier catchers last season. He came back, which is a huge shocker to many. It'll be really interesting to see how he fares behind the plate today, Gabe Sotris. On TCU side, we have boatloads of talent. Braden Taylor has batting .387 on the year. He's going crazy. Trey Richardson .379, and Anthony Silva's batting .379 as well. We're just about getting started here in Minute Maid Park. Connor O'Halloran on the mound. The lefty is 2-0 on the season. He's getting ready to face this TCU Horned Frogs offense. And we're just about to get started. Leading off for TCU is Austin Davis, the right fielder. Austin Davis has hit .323 this season and 31 at-bats. He scored 8 runs on 10 hits, 4 doubles. And we're off and running here. Connor O'Halloran throws a strike in the first pitch of that bat. Connor O'Halloran winds up for the pitch. He throws another strike. Appears to be a sinker. And quickly Connor O'Halloran's head 0-2. The pitch. High ball. Connor O'Halloran trying to go high heat there. And we are at 1-2 at the first batter of the game. Connor O'Halloran pitches, and it's high and inside. Connor O'Halloran has now gone from an 0-2 count to a 2-2 count. Both high fastballs. And just like that, Connor O'Halloran is going to be looking to find a strike here to get out Austin Davis. Connor O'Halloran goes high, and Austin Davis fouls it off behind, hits the backstop. We're still at 2-2. O'Halloran comes in today, as I said earlier. He's a 1.12 ERA. He's 2-0 on the season. He was Michigan's premier starter last season. Michigan lost Cameron Weston to the draft. He went to the Baltimore Orioles. They retained Chase Allen, who you'll see tomorrow. Connor O'Halloran pitches, and Austin Davis shoots one sky high. Greg Pace Jr. center field catches it in the sun for the first out. So staying, Chase Allen comes back with Connor O'Halloran, so Michigan retains its top 2 starters. They lose Cameron Weston to the draft, so Michigan, just like last season, has 2 solid starters in them, but they're really going to struggle to find that third starter. They might have to go with many different guys. You might see some bullpen games here and there. We'll have to just see what happens with what they do there. But Connor O'Halloran, at least, is that guy for Michigan on the Friday night starter, as we see him today here in Minute Maid Park, as Connor O'Halloran throws a ball inside to the second batter of the game, Elijah Nunez. Elijah Nunez tries to squeeze bunt. Mortal gets it, flips it over to first base, and they call him safe. Brandon Lawrence had his foot off the bag. Elijah Nunez squeezed bunt, gets by, and he is safe at first base. I was going to say Elijah Nunez batting .353. He started 4 games of the 8 games this season in 17 at-bats. He has 6 hits. Now that'll make it 7 hits and 18 at-bats. A lot of speed there from Elijah Nunez. The center fielder for the Horned Frogs, as now Connor O'Halloran will work from the stretch. Braden Taylor is up, the third baseman. O'Halloran throws back at Nunez at first base. Nunez gets back pretty easily. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike one. Connor O'Halloran gets it right by Braden Taylor. We have a ball. Connor O'Halloran throws outside. Count is 1-2 to Braden Taylor. Connor O'Halloran sets, ready to pitch. Takes a while, looking back, and he throws back. Safe at first base is Elijah Nunez. Count still 1-2. Throws back once again. Elijah Nunez safe once again. Connor O'Halloran doing what he can to keep Elijah Nunez close to first base. Connor O'Halloran looks to pitch. 1-2 is the count. And they get him at second base. Elijah Nunez tries to steal. Gabe Sotris gets him. And just like that, we have 2 outs. Connor O'Halloran tries to pick off Elijah Nunez 3 times. And once Nunez takes off, finally, he is tagged out by a mile by Gabe Sotris. Gabe Sotris, the transfer from Michigan State, played 4 years there. And Connor O'Halloran strikes out Braden Taylor, and just like that, we're out of the top of the first. Into the bottom of the first we go. Michigan about to bat. Stay right there. On the mound for TCU. On the mound for TCU, we have the pitcher Ryan Vanderhee. Ryan Vanderhee is 16-21 for TCU his career. He's held from the scoreless 14 and 21 relief appearances, even though last year he had 14 starts in 14 games. So he has now been a primary starting pitcher. He throws high heat in the upper 90s for TCU. This season he's 0-1. He's a 4.2 ERA with 10.2 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 12 strikeouts against Vanderbilt. He had a no decision. He had 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts against Florida State. Despite taking the loss, he actually had a way better performance. 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. So his high heat can cause a lot of batters to swing and miss. So we'll see how he does against the Michigan Wolverines today. Michigan will have Cody Jeffress take the leadoff spot. Cody Jeffress started out scoring 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Last game, Jeffress played 4 years at the University of San Diego. He's a transfer himself. Cody Jeffress fouls off the first pitch. Jeffress was huge for Michigan when Michigan lost Eric Bakich, their coach, and a lot of other players with Bakich. Tracy Smith, their new coach, had to come in and grab a lot of new players, and Jeffress is one of them. And he's playing some key time in the shortstop position that was used to be held by Riley Bertram, who left with Coach Eric Bakich when he left Clemson. Pitch. Jeffress lines one to center field, but that will be caught. And just like that, Michigan has 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Second will be Tito Flores. Second pitch, change up. Flores early on it. It's 1-1. Flores was a primary DH last year for the Wolverines. This year he's playing primarily left field for them as we have a 1-1 count. Flores takes ball 2. We have a strike, so now the count will be 2-2 right down the middle. I apologize for the choppiness. I'm trying to figure that out as we speak. Skies one out of play. Just like that, we're back at 2-2 with the count. Ball outside. 3-2 is your count. Pitch. Flores goes down on strikes. Out number 2 for your Wolverines. Ted Burton comes to the plate. Ted Burton, one of Michigan's best hitters, coming back again, even though Bakich leaves. Tracy Smith comes in. Ted Burton is the DH for your Wolverines today in the 3-hole. Ted Burton grounds out on the first pitch to the shortstop, and the side is retired. 1-2-3 inning for the TCU Horned Frogs. It is 0-0 after the first inning. Stay right there. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are back here in the top of the second inning. Connor Halloran is on the mound for the Michigan Wolverines. We are seeing a 3-2 count currently to Curtis Byrne. Curtis Byrne with a pitch, and he fouls it off. Curtis Byrne facing a 3-2 count right now. And he strikes him out. Curtis Byrne strikes out for the first out of the inning. Connor Halloran is facing Trey Richardson currently. On his 3-2. Foul tip. 3-2 the count. 1 out right now to Trey Richardson. Connor Halloran on the mound. Here's the pitch. Richardson grounds out to Jeffress at shortstop. High. Vandermarlo stays on the bag for out number 2. David Bishop stands in now. David Bishop's been 243 on the season, 37 at bats. He is David Bishop stands in. David Bishop. And here's the pitch from Connor Halloran. Apologize, folks, for the technical difficulties. I believe running again. Connor Halloran, 1-1 the count. Currently 2 out here in the top of the second inning. Swing and miss, hits the ground though. We drop third rule. And Connor Halloran exits 1-2-3 inning once again for the Wolverines. Michigan will be back here in the bottom of the second inning. Stay right there. Michigan will have its own batters here in the bottom of the second inning. Gabe Sotris, Jake Marty, and Mitch Voigt batting here in the bottom of the second. Currently, they're paying a tribute to the Shriners Children's Hospital, that is who is sponsoring the event today here at Minute Maid Park. We have many teams playing. We saw a great one before this game where Rice University took down Texas Tech. Michigan will face Texas Tech tomorrow. But right now, Michigan has TCU on their hands here in the bottom of the second inning. Gabe Sotris, the catcher, at bat. Here's the pitch. And it's outside, ball 1 to Gabe Sotris. As I said earlier, he's the catcher filling in for Jimmy Obertop. Jimmy Obertop was Michigan's premier player, had one of his best seasons last year. He had surgery in October, so he's still recovering from that surgery. Gabe Sotris, a transfer from Michigan State University, is here filling in for his shoes, and he's done a great job at that. He's more of a defensive-oriented catcher, but he is batting .435 this season, 10 hits on 23 at-bats. He's 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 19 total bases. He's an .826 slugging percentage. Just unreal numbers from a guy who was supposed to be starting right now. ball 2 outside the Sochers. Here's a pitch. Sochers fouls that one off. Count now is 2-2. We're scoreless to this point. Both teams up and down in the first inning. Horned Frogs just held a 1-2-3 inning in the second inning by Connor O'Halloran. Michigan looking to take the lead here early in the second inning with their leadoff batter, Gabe Sochers, their best hitter. Gabe Sochers, though, right by, blows by a fastball, and he goes down on strikes. Out number 1, Gabe Sochers goes back to the bench. Jake Marty stands in. He's the first baseman. Marty had a resurgence last year. He did not start most of the games as he rips one into center field. That goes down for a base hit. That's Michigan's first hit of the game. Jake Marty, the first baseman, gets on the board. As I was saying, Marty had not been starting originally the start of last season behind Jack Van Remortel. But he stepped up in a big way. Van Remortel was struggling offensively. Marty came in and he had a really solid postseason for the Big Ten tournament and even the NCAA tournament. That Marty also has some speed on the base path. Look to him maybe to steal. At least last season, Eric Backett had him steal a lot. We'll see what Tracy Smith, the new coach, decides to do now. Mitch Voigt, the freshman, stands in. Voigt fouls one back. Voigt's batting .250 this season. He started all 8 games up to this point. He's a freshman, as I know. He came in as a very highly touted freshman at that. He's a 2-way player in high school. He's both a defensive wizard, and he also plays offense. He plays third base right now, but he also pitches for the Wolverines. He's a top prospect out of Wisconsin. He was 11-0 and 86 strikeouts with a .52 ERA on the mound, and he had a .566 batting average with a 1.431 OPS with 35 RBIs offensively. So we've already seen Voigt come in a relief appearance last weekend. We're seeing him now play offense and play third base. So a really cool prospect and a really cool kind of player that Tracy Smith has with him, who's just a freshman, so will at least be here for another 3 years until he decides to do what to do with his future. So far, playing .250 is a freshman, not too bad in college baseball. Marty goes back to first base with a pickoff move. He is safe easily. TCU's pitcher Ryan Vanderkee playing pretty well right now. He's already lowered his ERA from 4.11 to 3.75. He's 0-1 of the season, 14 strikeouts, 2 today. Mitch Voigt goes down on strikes though. 1, 2, 3. Strike 3, you're out. And Mitch Voigt will head back to the bench. Up next is Jack Van Remortel, the grad transfer. He's played 2 years, second season here for the Wolverines. He's playing first base today. Marty's in right field. Marty did not play any outfield last season, so I assume over the offseason they got him working in the outfield and found a way to play both Van Remortel and Marty. Van Remortel stands in. First pitch on the way. And it curves itself in for a strike. Strike 1 to Jack Van Remortel. Van Remortel's currently batting .250 on the season as well. He has 3 RBIs, no home runs. He has 5 hits, one of which was a double, and he's drawn 1 walk at this point. The pitch. Sliders way outside. 1-1 is the count. Gonna apologize for the technical difficulties. Trying to get that sorted. My audio is a little choppy, so hang in there with me as we're trying to get that figured out here simultaneously while calling this game. Bitter Immortal launches one out to center field. Marty runs, but TCU is under it. And that'll be the third out of the inning. Elijah Nunez retires it for TCU Horned Frogs. And we enter the top of the third inning here in Minute Maid Park for the Shriners Classic. We're here in Minute Maid Park. Connor Hallen is back on the mound for the Wolverines. He's had a fantastic outing to this point. He's allowed one squeeze bunt for a hit, and they threw him out at second base. So we're currently at number 7 batter for TCU. 6 up, 6 down, technically. Luke Boyers will stand in. Boyers is the left fielder for TCU. He's currently batting 154, worst of all the starters on the team. In 26 at-bats, only has 4 hits. No extra base hits at that. He has 2 RBIs, 4 total bases. Boyers is standing in now. Luke Boyers swings to the first pitch. Greg Pace is running in. He slides and he makes the catch. Greg Pace Jr., the Big Ten Freshman of the Week for your Wolverines. The center fielder makes a magnificent diving catch. And he'll put out Boyers for out number 1 here in the top of the third inning. Next up to bat, Logan Maxwell. Maxwell's DHing today for the TCU Horned Frogs. Is on the way. Little high inside, ball 1 to Logan Maxwell. Maxwell is batting 0 on the season. He has appeared in 2 games. Not started 1, and this is his first at-bat of the season. So a lefty-on-lefty matchup here for Logan Maxwell to start the season off at DH for the Horned Frogs. O'Halloran tries to squeeze that one in there, but it's still 2 inside for the umpire's liking. 2-1 count now. Three 1 now as O'Halloran throws another ball to Logan Maxwell. Logan Maxwell gets jammed, and the liner goes right to the shortstop, Cody Jeffers, for out number 2. Nice high inside pitch there. Jam Logan Maxwell, and it goes right to the shortstop for out number 2 here in the top of the third inning. Sitting in now, Anthony Silva, the shortstop for TCU. Pitch number 1, Silva goes, half swing, ball in the dirt, They'll call saying he went all the way. Strike number 1. This season, Anthony Silva is batting .379 in 8 games started and 8 games appeared. 29 at-bats. Nice slide there by Cody Jeffress. Will he get it? And he barely gets it. Cody Jeffress, nice sliding maneuver to get the ground ball as he throws out Silva for out number 3. And just like that, Connor O'Halloran has gone 9 batters, 9 outs here to start Shriners College Classic as your Wolverines will take the offense here at the bottom of the 3rd inning. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. We are back up and running here. Cody Jeffress stands in the box now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-1 is the count. Quick pitch here. Outside once again, 2-1 now. Cody Jeffress. The San Diego transfer. Turns shortstop for the Wolverines. Wearing number 12. Old Riley Bertram's number, the former shortstop for the Wolverines. Jeffress fouls it off to the left side. Into the stands out of play. Wolverines are wearing white today. They're wearing their white uniforms. TCU's in their gray with their purple caps. Little white on gray action. A little hard to tell the difference, but Michigan's white is pretty bright, so it's pretty easy to tell. Outside, ball 3. To the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's a pitch. Jeffress sends one to shortstop, just like the play he made sliding, and they barely get Jeffress. A little taste of his own medicine right there. As the TCU shortstop, Anthony Silva made a nice sliding grab for the ground ball going to his right side. Popped up and got Jeffress just in time as we enter the 4th inning scoreless 0-0 here on WCBN Sports. They're currently reviewing it to see if Jeffress is safe at first base. They have confirmed the call, though, and Jeffress will still go back to the dugout. As we enter the top of the 4th inning scoreless, Connor Halloran will take the mound once again for the Wolverines. Austin Davis stands in now for TCU Horned Frogs as Connor Halloran starts the top of the order off once again. And Elijah Nunez stands in now for the TCU Horned Frogs. It is 1-0 TCU. TCU just hit a home run, and just like that, it is 1-0 Horned Frogs. Connor Halloran, who was perfect the first 9 batters, gets to the top of the order once again for TCU and sends one over the left field wall. We have the train going through. And now we're back up and running. Thank you all for bearing with me for the technical difficulties to the first 3 innings. I believe I fixed the issue. So just like that, we're up and running now. And Connor O'Halloran, the lefty, stands in to face the number 2 batter, Nunez, of the TCU Horned Frogs here in the 4th inning. My apologies. Strike 3 and you're out. Connor O'Halloran strikes out Nunez for the first out of the inning. One out, 1 run so far here in the top of the 4th. And Braden Taylor stands in the third baseman for TCU. He's struck out in the first as he takes a strike here, high and inside. Strike 1, Connor O'Halloran, the lefty, putting in work against the number 10 team in the country in this matchup. Strike 2 is the call. Connor O'Halloran making quick work of Braden Taylor. Connor O'Halloran lines up. He winds up, and he pitches. Strike 3, and you're out. Braden Taylor swings right through that fastball. Connor O'Halloran, 1, 2, 3, 3 strikes. And just like that, after giving up a leadoff home run to start the inning, Connor O'Halloran has gotten 2 quick outs. Next up, Curtis Byrne, the catcher, swings and misses. Strike 1. Threw a curveball that hit the dirt. Byrne did not see it. They swung right through that one. O'Halloran winds up. Right down the middle. Nice changeup there. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Quickly on Curtis Byrne. 2 outs here. And he blows one right by him. Strike 3. Connor O'Halloran, despite giving up the leadoff home run, strikes out 2 batters in that inning. And just like that, the Wolverines will have to answer, being down 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. If you all could not hear me earlier, Connor O'Halloran on the mound for Michigan today came in with a 1.12 ERA. He's 2-0 on the season. He's Michigan's premier pitcher. He is their day 1 starter, their Friday night starter in college baseball, we like to call, given that series usually start on Friday nights. You will usually see O'Halloran pitching each of those Friday night matchups. He went 9 up, 9 down the first 3 innings with TCU. But as everything in baseball, things can change very fast. Austin Davis for TCU, the right fielder, hit a leadoff home run over the left field wall, making it 1-0 TCU. Michigan, on the other hand, has been held to just 1 hit currently. Jake Marty singled to center field, but so far really nothing doing as they're facing a really good pitcher in Ryan Vanderhee. Vanderhee is 16-21 in his lifetime at TCU. He is 79 in starts. He has held opponents scoreless 14 of 21 relief appearances. That said, last 2 years he's been primarily a starter. Last year he started 14 games for TCU. This year this is his 3rd start. He's currently 0-1 against Vanderbilt, his first start. He gave up 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. It was a no decision against Florida State. Despite having a better performance, he lost that one. 2 earned runs on 9 strikeouts. So far, he's held Michigan scoreless and has held them to 1 hit. So Ryan Vanderhee, looking to bounce back from his first 2 starts, is putting in the work against this Michigan offense right now. On the flip side, Michigan has a few people that you should be looking out for. Currently standing in the box is Tito Flores. Flores, the senior, is one of the power hitters on Michigan's team. He was primarily a DH last season for them. He's playing left field today and has been playing left field this season. As he stands in the box now, if Michigan's going to look for a spark at all, they're going to look for these next 3 hitters. You have Tito Flores, Ted Burton, and Gabe Sotris, your 3 best hitters. First pitch on the way, and they call it a strike on the outside corner. Second pitch on the way now from Vanderhee, and it hits the ground, hits the dirt, bouncing the glove. Ball 1. 1-1 is the count now to Tito Flores. Flores has not missed a single game over the past 2 seasons. He started 108 straight games. He was named DH to the Big Ten All-Tournament team and All-Midwest Regional second team at DH last season. And as I said, given he played DH a lot of last year, he's improved his defense. Last year there was a rotation for left field, including Joey Velasquez and him. Tito Flores has taken over most of the duties as he strikes out the first bat of the inning. Tito Flores goes down on strikes. And just like that, Ted Burton comes up to the plate. Ted Burton, just behind Tito Flores in the hitting category. Burton was ranked the 8th best MLB draft prospect at the beginning of last season. He had a little bit of an off year, a little bit of ups and downs. At one point, he was 1 for 27 in a 28 at-bat streak. But he got out of that and finished hitting .230 on the year this season. Ted Burton's hitting .344 in his 8 games he's played, as the count is 1-1 now. Burton in 32 at-bats has 11 hits, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's slugging .594, and he's also drawn 5 walks. Ted Burton swings and misses, counts 1-2. Ted Burton, 1-2 is the count now. He just barely fouls that one off. Trickles down to the Michigan bench. As I said a little earlier, Michigan in their white uniforms today. White tops, white bottoms. TCU in their gray uniforms, gray tops, gray bottoms with their purple cap. You might recognize the school name of TCU if you're a Michigan fan. That's because Michigan played them in the semifinals in football this past year. Ted Burton fouls another one back. Michigan did not get the better end of that game, so they're looking to take advantage on the baseball diamond and get some payback and rewrite the story of Michigan versus TCU in sports. TCU's coming in today, ranked 10th in the country. They are 5-3. Michigan's 4-4. Here's the pitch. Inside. 2-2 is the count now. TCU, a really good team, but they're in a really good conference with the Big 12, with a lot of really good teams. You'll see one of them tomorrow at Texas Tech. Vanderhee throws one behind the catcher, hits off the backstop, rolls back to Vanderhee. 3-2 is the count. They're in a very difficult conference, TCU. They play a lot of ranked teams. They're ranked themselves. Despite the 3 losses, being ranked 10th in the country, we'll see if that changes after this weekend. As Vanderhee winds up. Throws, and Burton fouls another one off. He's working the count really well right here. Burton staying alive. 3-2 is the count. His first at-bat, Burton grounded out to shortstop. Here's the windup and the pitch. Right down the middle, strike 3. Burton got caught looking right there. Nice at-bat by Burton, but you can't go down on strikes like that. Difficult outing, and there's 2 outs now for the Wolverines. Gabe Sotris, the catcher, stands in. Gabe Sotris, the Michigan State transfer, playing some big time here for the Wolverines with Jimmy Obertop, the starting catcher, out. He had surgery in October. He's still recovering from that surgery. So Sotris, who's brought in to primarily be a backup catcher, has taken the realm and has taken the lead as the starting catcher for the Wolverines. He's actually leading the team, batting .435 coming into today. He's played all 8 games. He's started 7 of them. He has 10 hits on 23 at-bats. That has changed, though. He did strike out in the second inning, so I'll change that to 10 hits and 24 at-bats. Nonetheless, he's still batting way over .400. Sotris takes ball 2 low. It's 2-1 now is the count. Sotris has 2 home runs this season, 3 RBIs. He's looking in .826, which is unreal, especially for a catcher. The way the game is running and rolling now with catchers, you have guys like Adley Rushman and Alvarez of the Mets, who are now primarily hitting catchers. It'll be interesting to see what he does as he grounds out to third base, and that should be a pretty easy play for TCU, and it is. Braden Taylor throws him out, retires aside. 1-0 is still your score after 4. Horned Frogs lead the Wolverines. Stay right there. Welcome back to Michigan baseball here in the Shriners Classic. We're in Houston, Texas, Minute Maid Park, the home of the Houston Astros, the reigning world champion Houston Astros. It's a beautiful day outside. It's sunny. Minute Maid Park actually has a dome, so you can cover it, but the sun is out, the dome is off, the roof is off, I should say. There's a decent amount of Michigan fans here in Minute Maid Park. Mostly TCU fans, though, obviously, they're being Texas Christian University, just 2 hours from here. Michigan fans, though, have made the trip, and there are still a lot of alumni in the area, a few of whom I know, actually. Trey Richardson, I should say, steps in the box now for TCU. Connor O'Halloran takes them out once again, and we start up the 5th inning. Richardson, big cut, strike 1, goes right by him. Connor O'Halloran winds up. Here's the pitch. And the curveball is low. Ball 1. 1-1 is your count. Connor O'Halloran pitching a pretty good game to this point. Made one mistake, giving up the home run, but he's only given up 2 hits to this point to a really solid TCU Horned Frogs offense. Ball 2 high and outside. O'Halloran had a 5.44 ERA last year. It was actually best of the starters for the Wolverines and 92.2 innings pitched. Ball 3 outside, 3-1 is the count now. Trey Richardson, nice job working the count for TCU. He's the shortstop on the day. In his first at-bat, second inning, he grounded at shortstop. But currently, he's a 3-1 count, favorable to him. See what he does with it. Nice pitch there by Connor O'Halloran. Changeup, loops right in to the strike zone. 3-2 is the count. We're here in the top of the 5th inning. Beautiful day outside. Connor O'Halloran with the windup. And Richardson grounds out to the second baseman, Brandon Lawrence. Brandon Lawrence to Jack Van Remortel. And just like that, O'Halloran got another out in the 5th inning. 1 out. First baseman, number 12, David Bishop, stands in now for TCU. Bishop struck out in the 2nd inning. On the year, Bishop is batting .243, 5 runs, 9 hits, 4 doubles. Strike 1 right down the middle to Bishop. Good pitch there by O'Halloran. O'Halloran taking great command. He's working quick. The lefty, the southpaw, making quick work of this TCU offense. Ball 1. As I said a little earlier, if you couldn't catch it, O'Halloran has come back with the Wolverines, just like Chase Allen, their other starter. You'll see them tomorrow. They lost Cameron Weston to the Baltimore Orioles from the MLB draft, so they had to replace one of their starters. And a problem they had last season was they didn't have a lot of depth in the pitching staff. And honestly, the problems have still been looming over this team this season too. They haven't been able to find that third starter just yet. They've been working in Noah Renard, who's a relief pitcher. Jacob Denner, another relief pitcher. They started Ahmed Haralajli, another relief pitcher. You're going to see a lot of bullpen games. You're going to see a lot of long relievers go as a third starter. You can see a lot of mixing up right now because this team, despite having 2 top-heavy starters in O'Halloran and Chase Allen, are a little weak on the backside. And then, of course, if you're going to use a bullpen player as a starter, you're going to lose that player in the bullpen. So, unfortunately for this Wolverines this season, being 4-4, they've just lost a few of the games because they didn't have a lot of bullpen help and bullpen relief help at that. One player who's come in, though, to help this team is Mitch Voigt. You might hear him. He's the third baseman today. He's really solid on offense. He's a freshman out of Wisconsin, but he was a two-way player in high school. He had a .53 ERA in 52 outings. On offense, he was batting .566, so he's already had 1 relief appearance where he had 2 scoreless at the 8th and 9th inning. A long relief outing there to get the save against Grand Canyon University as TCU shoots one in the left center gap. He's going 3. Let's see if he gets it. He is safe and in there. Bishop, David Bishop, just hit a triple in the left center gap. There's a little bit of an indent from the left wall through the center field wall, and it hit just the right part of the corner that David Bishop was able to not just take a double, but take a triple. It's his first triple on the season. And just like that, TCU, with only 1 out, has a man on third base. Luke Boyers stands in. As I was saying, Connor O'Halloran is going to need to go as long as possible for these Wolverines. They struggle in the bullpen. They might use Noah Renard today. He's their best player. As we have ball 1. But Renard might be slated to pitch on Sunday, so who knows what this team might do. Tracy Smith, the new coach for the Wolverines, came in. He lost a lot of players to the transfer portal, a few to the draft. Brought a few in of his own, but he's still working out the kinks as the team has only played 8 games to this point. They haven't even had a home game yet. O'Halloran throws him right down the middle. Strike 1. Counts 1-1 now. As I said, Luke Boyer stands in. Boyer's batting .154. That's worst on the team. He has 4 hits and 26 at-bats. Boyer swings and misses. 1-2 is the count now. He has no extra base hits. He has 2 RBIs, 9 walks, 13 strikeouts. Tied most on the team for strikeouts. Luke Boyers, there's a player that Michigan needs to get out right now. That's him. O'Halloran's ahead, 1-2 in the count. Here's the pitch. Looked close. Umpire's not having it, though. Just outside, they're going to say. Counts 2-2. O'Halloran's trying to get a little bit of clarification from the umpire, seeing where the strike zone exactly is. It looked pretty good from here. Nonetheless, counts 2-2 here. If you're a Michigan fan, DJ Turner, former cornerback, just ran a 4.26 40. That's Combine's best. Good for him as Luke Boyer strikes out. Ground third strike. Throws it down to first base. Jack Van Remortel handles it cleanly. And just like that, Connor O'Halloran needed to get the strikeout he got. With Luke Boyers, you feel a little better about yourself with the runner on third base with 2 outs versus 1. Logan Maxwell steps in. The DH. So I was saying, DJ Turner, cornerback of the Michigan Wolverine football team. He's at the NFL Combine, trying to get drafted by NFL teams right now. He's trying a 4.26 40-yard dash. That is second fastest in NFL history behind John Ross. Unreal. Great to see from a Michigan player. Maxwell, half swings, goes into third base. Quick throw by Voigt, and he's out. Mitch Voigt with the power. As I said, he's a pitcher as well as a third baseman. He used a little bit of that pitcher's speed to get the ball from the third base corner all the way down to first base, and Michigan's able to retire the side with no runs scored here in the top of the 5th inning. Nice work there by Mitch Voigt. We're entering the bottom of the 5th inning now. Michigan down 1-0. O'Halloran looks strong. He's not pitched a lot of pitches. We'll probably see him again for the 6th inning. As we see a change in the offense to defense right now. It's a great day at the ballpark. I hope you're all having a great time. Feel free to use the chat function to ask me questions along the way. I was the Michigan baseball beat reporter last year for the Michigan Daily, so I have a little bit of extra knowledge on this team than most people do. I covered every home and away baseball game for this Michigan team, despite the changes now in the coaching staff, and a lot of the players have stayed the same. A little extra knowledge on the team. So if you have any questions about this team, what you're looking to see out of them, please feel free. Use that chat function. Happy to answer any of your questions you might have. Jake Marty will stand in for the Wolverines to start the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Marty, then Mitch Voigt, the freshman, then Jack Van Remortel, the 5th-year grad transfer. Marty and Van Remortel split time last season at first base. At the beginning of the season, it was all Van Remortel. Van Remortel, though, got injured, and then he struggled a little bit at the plate. He was batting about 150 at the time. So Jake Marty, who's a junior at the time, now a senior, took his place in a really productive end of the season. He's quick. He's not known for his power, but he's known for his contact, and he's quick. He actually has the only hit for the Wolverines to this point, a line drive single into center field. And when he gets on the base path, he can run. Currently, Marty is playing the outfield. He's playing right field today. Michigan's going with another off and on position with right field this season they did last year. They're splitting time with Jordan Rogers, Jake Marty, and Joey Velasquez. Velasquez, of course, the two-sport athlete at Michigan's on the football team as well. Today, Marty will get the nod. Maybe tomorrow somebody else will. And Van Remortel will be at first base. So Tracy Smith has a lot of players to work with, a lot of different guys who play a lot of different positions, and it's really nice to have that if you're a coach, especially at the college level when a lot of these players have one defined position. Having a team of a lot of different players who are kind of utility players who play both infield, both outfield, even, as I said, with Mitch Voigt, who can pitch and play the field. It's just unreal now to see. Marty stands in the lefty. Ryan Vanderhee takes the mound once again for the Horned Frogs. Here's the pitch. Strike one, outside corner. Just clipped it. And we're well underway here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 Horned Frogs due to a 4th inning leadoff home run by Austin Davis. Austin Davis took the first pitch he saw from Connor O'Halloran, took it over the left field wall. We saw the train go by and everything. It's a really cool sight to see here in Minute Maid Park, where the Houston Astros play. Another quick update for you, Michigan fans. Michigan women's basketball just lost to Ohio State in the Big Ten Women's Tournament, 81-79. Wolverines are now out of the Big Ten Tournament. They will probably still make the NCAA Tournament, but definitely not as high of a seed as you would have hoped out of the Wolverines. Unfortunately, Leah Brown, though, as dominant as she has always been, 19 points. But McMahon for the Buckeyes is 28, and the Wolverines fall just short of moving on in the Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament. Ball high, 2-2 is the count now to Jake Marty. Marty says on the ground, second baseman. He might not get him, and he's safe. Jake Marty with the hustle play. Too fast for Elijah Nunez playing behind the bag at second base. Nunez took one extra hop there, and Marty's able to hustle it out. Infield single, Marty's second hit of the day. Second hit for the Wolverines as a total. Wolverines have a leadoff man now on with Mitch Voigt standing in. He's batting .250 on the season. Third baseman for the Wolverines today. Two-way player. He's looking to bunt, though. He squares it, but it goes foul. Voigt, coming from Wisconsin, very highly touted recruit. He won all the awards. He won Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year in 2022, 5 other Player of the Year honors. He won Wisconsin Player of the Year. Coming to Michigan now. Day one starter as a freshman. It's unheard of now in college to see that, especially at Michigan. Team of a lot of upperclassmen. As Voigt squares. Vanderhee decides to go to first base, though. Keep Marty in check. Marty runs back, though, easily. Voigt combines a lot of power, a lot of contact. There's a little bit of speed in him. But he's mostly known for his arm, as we saw there in the last inning. He had a nice play there from third base, getting the guy out all the way across the diamond, using that speed and that power from his arm. Voigt steps out for just a second. Umpire signals something. I can't exactly tell what, though. TCU's manager comes out of the dugout now. And the umpires are conferring. I don't exactly know what the call is, but I believe it was a warning to the pitcher, a balk warning at that. Each pitcher's awarded one balk warning. If he balks once again, it'll be a free base for the runner and for the runners on base as well. Vanderhee steps in once again, counts 1-1 now to Mitch Voigt, the freshman. Voigt squares once again, but he goes back to first base. Jake Marty's able to just step right back. We're playing a little bit of chicken now. The MLB has actually changed the rule. They've made it only 3 pickoffs to 1 at-bat. I do not know if college has succumbed to those rules, but so far we're at 2 pickoff attempts here in this 1 at-bat. Bunt attempt, and it's high, and it hits him. Mitch Voigt takes the base. And after all of that, going back and forth, pickoff moves, fake bunt attempts, he hits Voigt in the shoulder. And Michigan has 2 men on with no out here for Jack Van Remortel. Pitching coach comes out to talk to Vanderhee of TCU. So, wow, what a change of events right here. All of a sudden, because of Jake Marty's hustle play, getting to first base with an infield hit, Mitch Voigt gets hit by the pitch. And just like that, the Wolverines have 2 runners on, first and second. No out. Jack Van Remortel, the grad transfer first baseman, up at bat. Just for your reference, even though I don't think he will be swinging at this at bat. Van Remortel is batting .238 this season, 3 RBIs, .273 OBP. He's 5 hits, 1 extra base hit, 1 walk. Last season, Van Remortel hit under the 200. That's why he got taken out halfway through the season. But he is one of the veterans on this team, and we'll see what he can do here with 2 runners on. You have Marty at second, Voigt at first, Van Remortel up, and he's squaring up to bunt right away. You can just tell. First baseman is creeping in already. Third base is creeping in too, and it's low, ball 1. Michigan has all the cards in its favor right now. One thing the Wolverines were really good at last season was scoring runs with runners in scoring position. Michigan scored a lot of runs last season. The games they lost, though, they just got outscored. Van Remortel squares up to bunt once again. First baseman's all the way in, and it's ball 2. Outside, hit the dirt. It appears the pressure's getting to Vanderhee a little bit right now. Ryan Vanderhee, the pitcher for TCU. Vanderhee winds up. Van Remortel's looking to square up. All you got to do is throw the ball right to the middle there. Outside, ball 3. So just like that, Michigan with 2 runners in scoring position. Van Remortel squaring up to bunt. All 3 attempts. 3 straight balls. And Van Remortel has a decision to make. Do you square up again? Do you try to take the walk? What do you do here if you're Jack Van Remortel? He's looking to square up a bunt once again. See if Vanderhee can find the strike zone. Vanderhee cannot. Ball 4. Jack Van Remortel, 4-pitch walk with 2 runners on base. And just like that, Michigan, bases loaded, no outs for Brandon Lawrence. Brandon Lawrence, the second baseman, batting .200 this season. He struck out in the 3rd inning. You can't exactly bunt here with the man on third base. So he's going to look to swing. Worst thing you can do is ground out to the pitcher. Put the ball in play. You're going to score a run. Michigan, even if it's a double play, you score a run. Let's see if Brandon Lawrence can make contact here or draw a walk to score the first run for Michigan in the Shriners Children's College Classic. Pitch number 1 is a curveball, curls right in. Strike number 1. Lawrence could not see it coming. He even ducked out of the way a little bit. Nice pitch there by Vanderhee to gain some composure. Vanderhee winds up. Here's the pitch. Lawrence, big cut right through it. Strike number 2. 0-2 is the count. Brandon Lawrence sitting on his heels a little bit, needs to protect. Greg Pace Jr., the freshman's on deck. He won Big Ten Freshman of the Week last week for his offensive performance. He already made 1 diving catch in center field today. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. 1-2 is the count to Brandon Lawrence. Lawrence did not start last season really often at all. Came in this season, though, and he has started twice in 4 appearances. Getting a nod today. Here's the pitch. Brandon Lawrence puts it on the ground. Third baseman comes home with it, and he gets the out at home to Jake Marty. Brandon Lawrence is safe. Brandon Lawrence grounds at the third base on a fielder's choice. He goes home and gets Marty. TCU's able to save a run for right now as Brandon Lawrence now takes first base. Michigan, bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Greg Pace Jr. comes to bat. Pace Jr. has started all 8 games in center field. He's batting .231. He's getting on base 1/3 of the time. He's a .333 on base percentage. He's 5 runs on 6 hits. 4 of those hits being extra base hits, so when he puts the ball in play, he's very electric with it. He's a 3-run home run against Cal State Fullerton, and his triples in back-to-back games. Strike 1. Strike 2. Greg Pace Jr., 2 quick strikes now. Michigan needs to find a way to not strand these runners. They bases loaded with no outs here in the 5th inning. They're down by 1. They have 2 total hits on the day, both of which come from Jake Marty. Let's see if Greg Pace Jr. can contribute to that. Ball 1 outside. Vanderhee gets ready from his stretch. Here's the pitch. And they call it a strike 3 on Greg Pace Jr. inside corner. Died it perfectly. And when Michigan had bases loaded with no outs, back-to-back batters do not find a way to score their teammates. And just like that, Michigan has 2 outs now, bases loaded. But Cody Jeffress stands in the plate. Jeffress, the transfer from San Diego, is Michigan's shortstop this season. He's had started all 8 games for Michigan there. Strike, I apologize, ball. Appeared was in the strike zone, a little high, umpire calls it. Jeffress played all 4 years at University of San Diego. He appeared in 167 games, started 160 of them. About a 270 lifetime with the University of San Diego. Here's Jeffress. Ball 2. When I spoke to Tracy Smith a little earlier in the season, he told me Cody is a guy that's competed at a high level. And in fact, when starting shortstop at USD's regional team, he comes with experience, and he's very pleased with the way he played this fall. More importantly, he's impressed of how he's blended with the culture with the guys on the team. Jeffress, a big position right here, possibly able to score 4 runs for the Wolverines. They're down 1. All he needs to do is score 1. Just needs a base knock. Mitch Voigt at third. Jack Van Remortel at second. Brandon Lawrence at first. With Cody Jeffress standing in now. This season, Jeffress is batting 194. But he lines one to center field right at the center fielder. And TCU is able to get out of the jam. Elijah Nunez didn't even have to move. It was a bullet, but nonetheless, Michigan cannot find a way to score with bases loaded. And you're not going to get many opportunities like that often, especially in the Shriners Children's College Classic. Michigan will have to look to find runs elsewhere as the top of the 6th is upon us here. 1-0 TCU, top of the 6th, as we change right now. Welcome back, everybody, to the Shriners Children's College Classic. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Connor O'Halloran takes the mound once again for the Wolverines. First up for the Horned Frogs is Anthony Silva, the shortstop. First pitch, high and outside, ball 1. Silva grounded to shortstop last time. He was up in the 3rd inning. He's the 9-hole hitter. Ball 2, low and outside. And up next, we have Anthony Davis. Davis hit the home run for TCU in the 4th inning. Only run scored in this game to this point. Silva, hard shot right there to Brandon Lawrence at second base. Vandermeer cannot scoop it, though. And Silva will find first base on the error. Brandon Lawrence, tough position there. Had to go to his left, scoop it, slide, pop up, and get it to Vandermeer in time. And unfortunately, Vandermeer could not handle that one. We'll see who the error is on. It'll definitely be an error on one of the two of them. If it was my guess, I think it was more on Brandon Lawrence's throw. But as a first baseman myself formerly, it appeared to be a pretty easily scooped ball, so it could be a Vandermeer too. Nonetheless, Austin Davis comes in, looks to bunt squeeze, cannot find it though. They said a little earlier, Davis hit the home run in the 4th inning, the lead off the inning. Ball 1 they call it. They say Davis pulled back before getting his bat all the way around. Davis might bunt once again. He does not. He swings. And there's a strike right in the middle. 1-1's the count now. Connor O'Halloran checking his wrist to see the scouting report on Austin Davis. Here's the pitch. Davis almost bunts. Pulls back, though, as it hits the dirt. 2-1. It's a count. Davis hitting .323 this season. He's 2 home runs now with his second hit coming in the 4th inning. 10 RBIs and 4 doubles. Definitely one of the best hitters on this TCU team. O'Halloran somehow squeezed in a changeup for a strike at the top of the zone. 2-2 is the count. Davis steps out. Something's in his eye. Davis steps right back in, and we resume play here. 2-2 count. No outs. Run on first base due to the error. With the pitch. They call foul ball, I believe. No, they're calling it strike 3. Davis strikes out. Somehow the ball trickles to the backstop. No explanation for how that occurs. Runner could not advance from first base. I appear it might have been batter interference there. Nonetheless, Connor O'Halloran gets another strikeout. We have one out here in the 5th inning. 1 runner on. Elijah Nunez steps up. O'Halloran checks at first. Anthony Silva's there. Here's the pitch. Fouled one back. 0-1 to Nunez. O'Halloran, as I said, has been very solid to this point. He's only let up 3 hits, one of which was a home run. Nonetheless, that 1 home run is the only score of the game to this point. Michigan a chance in the 5th inning. Bases loaded with no outs. Could not capitalize, though, after a fielder's choice, strikeout, and a ground out. 0-2 to Nunez. O'Halloran winds up from the stretch, and he goes back to first base. Van Immortal handles it cleanly. Silva, though, doesn't have to move far to get back to first base. Silva steals. Sotris cannot handle it, though. They actually do call it a foul tip. Strike 3. Sotris able to hold on to that one. Strikes out Nunez, but Silva is able to steal second base on the strikeout. So we have 2 outs now. Silva's on second base for TCU. So a little bit of a complicated situation right there. A few foul tips, a batter's interference. But we have 2 outs. O'Halloran still on the mound. Silva's on second base for TCU. And Taylor steps in now. Braden Taylor to the batter's box. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He's a single in the first inning, strikeout in the fourth. He's a runner in scoring position, though, right now. If he gets another single, scoring another run there. Michigan will actually intentionally walk Braden Taylor, so scratch everything I said right there. Taylor will now take first base, and they will send up Byrne, Curtis Byrne, with now runners on first and second base, 2 outs. Curtis Byrne, just like Taylor, had a single in the first inning, strikeout in the fourth. Strike 1 to Byrne. Byrne's batting .226 this season. He's played 7 games, started all 7 of those. He has 7 hits and 31 at-bats. 1 double, 5 RBIs, no home runs. Byrne lines up, and he fouls it out of play. It's coming back down, actually. Hit off one of the upper deck walls. Flew back down. Always a little dangerous if you're a fan looking forwards and the ball's coming from behind you. Here's Byrne. Ball outside. 1-2's the count. O'Halloran looking back. Now he's set. Byrne, ground ball hit to Brandon Lawrence, second base. Brandon Lawrence, quick throw, and he gets the man out. Jack Van Immortal is right there for the clean put out, and Michigan is able now to fend off a few runners in scoring position. We're still at 1-0 here going into the bottom of the 6th inning. TCU leads the University of Michigan 1-0. Stay right there. It's a beautiful day here at the ballpark. We're in Minute Maid Park, home of the Houston Astros, here in Houston, Texas. Just want to give a quick shout out to the Miner family. Houston natives, Michigan alums. Would not be here without them. We have the roof open here in Minute Maid. There is a retractable roof, given the hot summers here in Houston, Texas. It's a beautiful 71 degrees today. Another one tomorrow. Michigan will take on Texas Tech, 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time. I'll be on that one as well. You can catch me here still on WCBN Sports. Sunday, I will not be on the call, but the Wolverines are taking on Louisville Cardinals at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time as well. Looking ahead, Michigan has TCU, Texas Tech, Louisville this weekend. Then they have their first home game of the season on Wednesday, March 8th against Oakland. We will be on that game. We have two of our best, William Gregory, Charlie Brigham, on that call. Then Michigan will go to Kennesaw, Georgia in the Mike Sing Classic as they play Kennesaw State. They play at Xavier, and then they finally come home for a full series against Bradley March 17th. I'll be on that call as well. But Michigan has the number 10 team in the country ahead of them right now. They're hanging tough, 1-0 currently in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Tito Flores steps us to the plate, the left fielder for Michigan. Flores fouls one back to start the inning. Flores batting .206 currently, is 1 RBI, no home runs. A little unlike him, as Tito Flores is one of the best hitters on Michigan's team. He was their primary DH all of last season. He's playing left field a lot this season, as his defense has improved greatly from last season. Ball hits the dirt, bounces the backstop, 1-1's the count. Flores looking for a big one right here. If he can get a big hit here to spark any sort of Michigan offense, that would be greatly improving their confidence in this game. Ball inside, ball 2. 2-1's the count. We have Flores, Burton, and Sotris. Arguably the three best hitters on this team, with a pairing of experience and batting average. Flores, early on that one, fouls it off, hitting the net. Turned a little too early as a lot of kids are running to see if they can get the foul ball. TCU's Luke Boyers, though, decides to go in the outfield to give it to the fans instead of the third base side. Here's the pitch. Tito outside, ball 3. 3-2's your count. Got a full count now for Tito Flores here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Vanderhee has pitched a very solid game to this point. Michigan's been held to 2 hits, both of which are from Jake Marty. Flores skies one at the end of his bat to center field, and it'll be easily caught and put out for out number 1. Elijah Nunez right under it for TCU. So Flores pops out. Michigan last inning had bases loaded, no outs. Were unable to score in that position. So honestly, you're going to look for anything right now to see if they can score. You got Ted Burton up now. He's one of their power hitters as well. Burton has 2 home runs this season. He's tied for first on the team with Gabe Sotris coming up after him. Burton is able to just bloop one past the second baseman, Trey Richardson. And Burton finally gets on base himself. And Michigan has their 3rd hit of the game, second by a different player. Gabe Sotris, the catcher, now walks up. Transfer from Michigan State. So a little earlier, Sotris came into the day, batting .435. He's 0 for 2 on the day, so now he's down to .400. But he has 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. On base percentage of .464, slugging at .760. So if you're looking for anybody at this point of the season to get a big hit, Gabe Sotris is your guy. Vanderhee winds up in the pitch. Sotris skies one to center field. Nunez under it though once again, and he puts it out for out number 2. Ted Burton runs back to first base. So 2 quick outs for Michigan. Had some power on it, just not the distance. And Nunez of TCU in center field is able just to find it. Pretty easy pop-ups off the end of the bat. Jake Marty, who actually is 2 for 2 on the day. Single to center field, infield single, outrunning the second baseman, Trey Richardson. Steps in now. He's playing right field today. Jake Marty will also split time at first base every now and then. Here's a pitch. Burton runs and steals second easily. No throw. So, Jake Marty with 2 singles. If he gets a third, he could possibly score Ted Burton, who's now standing on second base. There's 2 outs, though. So you're going to do anything. You got to work quickly. 0-1's the count. Jake Marty standing in. He's a lefty. Vander, he pitches. Marty bloops one to left field, and his skies a little too much distance, and he's put out. Pop fly. Just like that, Michigan is scoreless for a 6th straight inning. Luke Boyer is able to fall under that. Marty had a little bit of a chance for that one to drop, but just had a little too much air under it. Quick line drive to Luke Boyer's side is retired. We're entering the 7th inning now. The 7th in just a little bit. Michigan still losing 1-0 to TCU. They're putting together some hits now, but just can't find the plate in order to score some runs. Michigan running out of innings, though, as we see Connor O'Halloran coming out for the 7th inning. Stay right there. Welcome back to Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. We're entering the top of the 7th inning right now, as TCU is looking to add on to their 1-0 lead. It's been a pretty light offensive affair to this point, very pitcher heavy. Not surprising, though, given it's the first game of the series. A lot of these college teams use their best pitchers in the first game. Michigan certainly is using Connor O'Halloran here, as Trey Richardson stands in, ball 1 outside. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see once Connor O'Halloran can't go anymore, or even going into tomorrow or Sunday, how Michigan fares with their bullpen. Struggling a little bit this season. Michigan as a bullpen is a 6.15 ERA, so definitely not what you would be expecting to use if you want to be winning some key games like the one today against TCU. Counts now 1-1. Richardson 0 for 2 today. 2 groundouts, 1 to the shortstop, 1 to the second baseman. Despite the 0 for 2 today, though, he's still batting .355, 6 RBIs, 11 hits. Definitely one of the top hitters on this TCU Horned Frogs team. Here's the pitch. And Richardson grounds it right up the middle. Jeffers is there, and he throws him out. Out number 1. 0 for 3 now, Trey Richardson. Connor O'Halloran put in the work. Keep Michigan alive here with his outstanding pitching. As I said, he made one mistake to Austin Davis. Sent a solo home run over the left field wall. But other than that, he's held this team to 3 total hits, including that home run, so 2 hits outside of the home run. Bishop stands in. Just lets the first one go by him right down the middle, strike 1. David Bishop, first baseman for TCU. 1 for 2 today. Hit a triple in the 5th inning that went to the left center corner. And he skies one into center field. Greg Pace Jr. is under it, though. He's calling for it. And he makes the catch. Out number 2 for Michigan. Luke Boyer is the left fielder. Now stepping in for TCU. He's batting .143 this season. His average keeps going down. He's 0 for 2 today. He had a pop fly out to left field, and he struck out into the 5th. Connor O'Halloran came in today with a 1.12 ERA. It jumped up to over the 2s with the home run, and so far he's brought it back down to a 1.89. So still fantastic work by Connor O'Halloran. Here's the pitch. Ball. 1-1's the count now. O'Halloran, the lefty, is not exactly known for striking batters out, but he's really good at forcing groundouts, forcing pop-outs. Not a lot of power is hit off Connor O'Halloran. You're seeing that today with only 2 extra base hits, one being a home run and one being a triple. Counts 1-2 now. So we're in the 7th inning. O'Halloran pitches, and it's a little high. 2-2's the count. So I said we have another one tomorrow. It'll be 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time. I'll be on that call again as Michigan will take on Texas Tech. O'Halloran throws low. Texas Tech lost the first time this season. They lost to Rice University. Texas Tech was 10-0 up until that point. So Michigan will see a very interesting team. We'll see how they bounce back from that loss. Here's the pitch. 2-2 is the count. And it gets right by the third baseman, Mitch Voigt. He's going 2 possibly. Boyers decides to retreat. And Boyers only had 4 hits on the season, gets his 5th. Singling past Mitch Voigt of third base. Mitch Voigt tried to dive out for it, but it just went under his glove. Nothing you can do about that. Difficult play to make in general. And now, TCU has a man on first base, 2 outs. Connor O'Halloran here in the top of the 7th inning. It appears we're waiting on a TCU player. It appears their catcher. Logan Maxwell actually is getting subbed out. That's what's going on. The DH is getting subbed out for number 32 on TCU. Cole Fontanelli now. Cole Fontanelle, I apologize, will now replace Logan Maxwell at DH. And you're going to see Hutzinger, the pitching coach, come out now to talk to Connor O'Halloran. With the stoppage of play, the great opportunity now to tell you all about some WCBN sports broadcasts we have coming up. Tomorrow, as I said, Texas Tech here in the Shriners College Classic. I'll be on that call. On Wednesday, Michigan will play Oakland at home for the first home game of the entire season. We have William Gregory and Charlie Brigham on that call. Michigan hockey tonight starts the Big Ten tournament in Ann Arbor. We have not decided exactly who will be on that call yet, but you can definitely check that out on WCBN Sports on the same YouTube link you're on right now. As Michigan hockey will be playing throughout the entire weekend in their Big Ten tournament. Michigan women's basketball unfortunately just lost to Ohio State today, 81-79 in the Big Ten tournament. So we'll have to see what happens with them with NCAA tournament seeding. And Michigan men's basketball finishes its regular season tomorrow at Indiana. That should be a fun one as well to check out. Connor O'Halloran starts back up, and Fontanelle just takes the first pitch and goes over the left field wall. Cole Fontanelle just needed one swing, one pitch to make his mark on the Shriners Children's College Classic. And just like that, TCU increases its lead 3-0. Cole Fontanelle, courtesy of a 2-run home run over the left field wall. Brody Green also comes in instead of Anthony Silva. So TCU making a few changes here. Not in Michigan's favor currently. Strike 1 to Green. O'Halloran's just looking to get out of this inning. It'll probably be his last. It was a fantastic day from Connor O'Halloran, except for 2 mistakes he makes. Both inside fastballs easily turned on by Cole Fontanelle. and Austin Davis. And that's how baseball works. 2 swings of the bat can put you up big. And TCU up 3-0 now. Michigan's not been able to find any sort of offense. They had bases loaded with no outs in the 5th inning. Could not score in that situation. And those are the mistakes that if you can't capitalize on those, especially against highly ranked teams like TCU, Michigan's not going to be playing many ranked teams this season. There aren't many ranked teams in the Big Ten. Right now it's just the University of Maryland, and they don't even play them this season. So because of that, you have to take advantage of these ranked teams when you can, because when it comes to the NCAA tournament time, these are the games they're going to be looking at, despite them being early on in the season. And Michigan, down 1-0 seemed pretty manageable. Down 3-0 though, with the team that's only has 3 hits the entire day, 0 runs. It looks a little insurmountable right now, but I've seen crazier. I've covered a lot of Michigan games in my time here at the university, and I've seen a lot of crazy comebacks I did not expect. So we'll have to wait and see how this 2023 team is built. As Connor Halloran strikes out Brody Green for out number 3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Horned Frogs get 2 off of the 2-run home run from Cole Fontenelle. Luke Boyers singled around Mitch Voigt, and TCU leads 3-0 here as we have the 7th inning stretch. Stay right there. Get out of your seats. Take a stretch. Sing. Take me out to the ball game. Get some water. We'll be back in just 1 minute. Welcome back to the Shriners College Classic here in Houston, Texas. We're singing the deep in the heart of Texas right now. We're just saying, take me out to the ball game. It's a great day here at Minute Maid Park, home of the Houston Astros. Fans are out. Fans are having a great time. You're seeing fans of Texas Tech, Rice, Louisville, Michigan, TCU, of course. Just a great all-around event here in Houston. I'm having a great time myself, spending the week out here. Warm weather if you're in Michigan right now. Might be a little jealous that it was 84 degrees yesterday. It's currently 75 and sunny now. Definitely taking advantage of this warm weather, but not for long as I go back to the beautiful but cold Ann Arbor, Michigan this weekend. So we start now the bottom of the 7th inning. Mitch Voigt, the freshman, stands in. And Voigt grounds one up the middle. Nice play there, though, by Nunez to get Voigt out pretty easily. I apologize, that is actually now Taylor. Braden Taylor has moved over to shortstop for TCU. Brody Green's moved to third base. A little bit of change from TCU Horned Frogs. Jack Van Remortel takes ball 1 now. Michigan needs to score soon. They want to get back in this game. Jack Van Remortel, though, swings through the fastball. 1-1 is the count. Down 3-0 right now, due to 2 home runs by TCU players, one of which coming off the first pitch of the first at-bat of Cole Fontenelle, it appears Connor O'Halloran's night will be done. He'll finish with 3 earned runs in the night. Jack Van Remortel is able to squeeze the ball right past the shortstop, Taylor, and he's on with a base hit. So actually, Michigan's not going down just yet. Jack Van Remortel able to get a single there out of the sprawling, diving Braden Taylor. Brandon Lawrence getting subbed out for Joe Longo. So Joe Longo will make his first appearance. He's batting .375 on 3 hits, so not too many plate appearances, but when he has gone to the plate, he's hitting at a pretty high clip to this point. He's also drawn 2 walks, and he has an on-base percentage of .500. Ball 1. Ryan Vanderhee with the pitch. Longo swings through that one, though. Strike 1. 1-1's the count. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Michigan down 3-0. Michigan in their white uniforms, TCU in their gray. Strike 2 to Joe Longo. Longo started 2 games, 4 appearances, his 5th appearance now. Longo fouls 1 all the way down the first base side and out of play. In his 8 at-bats, he's 3 hits. And as I said, he has a .500 on-base percentage. Longo fouls 1 back once again, staying alive. 1-2, still your count. And Michigan coming in with a lot of questions this season. New coaching staff, all of them. Lost a lot of players to the transfer portal. They lost Clark Elliott to the draft, as well as Cameron Weston. Longo rounds out to third base. That's a double play ball right there. Trey Richardson to first base, and the double play is enacted. And TCU is able to get out of the 7th inning after a single by Jack Van Remortel. 3-0's your score going to the top of the 8th. As I was saying, Michigan had a lot of questions coming into this season. Even me personally, I had no idea how this team was going to do. I still don't know how this team's going to do. Kind of 4-4 in the years is exactly where I expected them to be. They had some really key wins against Cal State Fullerton, against Grand Canyon, and then they had a huge loss to Michigan State. Of course, you're going to see Michigan State a lot this season playing in the Big Ten. Michigan State loaded up on some prospects. They loaded up on some transfers. That team is a lot better than you would have seen last season out of the Michigan State Spartans when Michigan absolutely pummeled them last year. You lost Joe Stewart, who had 3 home runs against Michigan State last year. So this team is young, and they're different. You have guys like Mitch Voigt, Greg Pace Jr., who are freshmen starting. You have a guy like Jake Marty, who was playing first base last year. He's now in right field. Tito Flores, the DH, he's now in left field. You have Jack Van Remortel, who got benched at first base last year. He's now the first baseman once again. And Brandon Lawrence, who saw no time last year, is playing second base with Ted Burton DHing. And not to mention, you lose Riley Bertram, your shortstop. You replace him with Cody Jeffress. And your best hitter coming back this year, the guy that all Michigan fans were begging and praying to come back despite Eric Bakich leaving. Jimmy Obertop, your catcher, he has surgery in October, and he's out for the foreseeable future. So you're playing with grad transfers, you're playing with freshmen. This team, of the 9 guys you've seen today, 5 of which were not on this team last year. 7 of which weren't starting last year. So this team's very different. Connor O'Halloran, of course, is the one returning spark you have. You have Tito Flores and Ted Burton, of course, and when Jimmy Obertop is healthy at the end of the season or even middle of the season, you'll have him too, and then Gabe Socha is hitting well too. You could probably have that going for you. But there's a lot of questions, so I really manage expectations for how the team's playing. There's a lot of things to look forward to. There's a lot of things to note. Michigan, in all retrospect, has a pretty easy schedule pertaining to the Big Ten this year. They are, as I said, aren't playing Maryland. We're only playing 8 of the Big Ten teams, so you will still have to face Nebraska. You still have to face Rutgers. You still have to face Ohio State, Michigan State, but you aren't playing the teams that TCU is playing. On the other hand, you're seeing Texas Tech tomorrow. You're seeing Louisville on Sunday. 2 big games to really see where your team's at. And honestly, I'm very impressed with how this team stuck within 1 run through 7 innings. It would have been nice to see them score on bases loaded. It's not great to see, but there's always improvements, always looking up, and it's always really good as a coach like Tracy Smith. I'm assuming Tracy will say after this game that it's just really good experience to see where this team's at comparing to top teams as we're starting here in the 8th inning. First pitch hits Trey Richardson's head. I apologize. That's actually Davis. So Davis gets hit in the helmet by Jake Keyser, the new pitcher. Keyser has an 18 ERA this season, so not great. In 4 games, 4 innings pitched. Jake Keyser, first pitch, hits Davis in the head. They're checking on Davis right now to see if he's okay. And that is just not the start you're looking for out of Michigan if you're looking to kind of make a rally. And I mentioned a little earlier, Davis will stay in the game. Michigan has really struggled with the bullpen this season, last season, the season before. They've really just not had the pieces behind their starting pitchers to finish games. You're using Mitch Voigt, who is a third baseman, two-way player. He had to come in relief. Now the Michigan pitching coach, I believe, is coming to talk to Jake Keyser and talk to the team. Mitch Voigt had to come in for a 2-inning save, which is not what you expect out of an everyday player you're going to need to do that with. You have guys like Noah Renard and Jacob Denner, who last year were splitting time as the bullpen long reliever, but also would have to start midweek games. Michigan's first home game is a Wednesday game, so Michigan's have to make a decision if they want to use one of those guys in those games. Do you? And if you do that, then you can't use them the weekend. So Michigan just has this constant revolving door of not strong pitching behind their starters, and that really just hurts your team. You saw it last year. Michigan really struggled with that all of the season. Then they were able to get their starters to go 7-8 innings in the Big Ten tournament. They were even able to use guys like Cameron Weston in relief. And then in the NCAA tournament, you play Louisville, and you're about to win that game, and they lose because in the 9th inning, their relief pitching just kind of gave up, and you ran out of talent, and that's what happens. So you're just going to have to hope for the best. Jake Keyser stays back in there. He throws the ball outside to Nunez, runner on first. Looking forward in the season, that's a really big thing to keep in mind, is how this bullpen's going to react, how this bullpen's going to play. If you check the Michigan Daily out, all their articles will be on the bullpen, I guarantee you, because that is just one of the weak spots of this team, and until Michigan gives the reason to not believe it's a weak spot, it will always be an area of emphasis if you're a journalist or if you're just looking to critique the team in any way. Jake Keyser, the pitches. Davis steals, and he's safe at second. Sotris' throw not in time. So Davis now at second base, no out. Jake Keyser back is against the wall early now here in the 8th inning. Michigan cannot afford to give any more runs, and they're looking to get back in this game. 3 runs is still not impossible. It's hard to trust it. The team hasn't scored the entire game, but it's not impossible, and we've seen crazier. But the more runs you give up, of course, the harder it is to come back in that situation. 3-1's the count now to Nunez. Nunez, 1 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, single in the first. Nunez, big crack at it, and just dribbles down to the Michigan dugout. 3-2's the count. Keyser needs a big out here if Michigan wants to find some life here in the 8th inning. Keyser winds up from the stretch. Pitches in, and it's ball 4 outside. Just like that. Back-to-back walks, one by hit by pitch. Leaves TCU with runners on first and second base, no out. Taylor comes to the plate. Taylor's 0 for 2 with a walk. The two are both strikeouts. But Keyser, 18 ERA and 4 innings pitched, just with 5 walks, is just really not something you want to see out of a guy who's really trying to keep a game close here for the Michigan Wolverines. Keyser winds up. Here's the pitch. And he just misses the strike zone. Ball 2, 2-0. Close there, though. Keyser looks to pitch once again. Ball 3, 3-0 now. Runners on first and second already. A walk would put him at bases loaded, no out. You have to think if Keyser walks Taylor right here, his night will be done. Here's the pitch. And just a little dribbler behind the backstop. Strike 1 on the foul tip. 3-1's the count now to Taylor. Braden Taylor batting .364 in the season despite 2 strikeouts today. Taylor swings through that one, though. 3-2 the count. He's 6 RBIs, 2 home runs, 12 hits on the year. It's early. Keep that in mind when I tell you all these batting averages, but something very interesting to see these top sluggers of TCU really struggling to hit today as Keyser walks Taylor. And we'll have bases loaded, no out, and 3 straight walks for Jake Keyser. Let's see if Tracy Smith comes out of the dugout here. It appears he's going to leave Keyser in. See if that pays off with 3 straight walks. Nonetheless, Curtis Byrne comes in now for TCU. Byrne is 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, 1 ground out as Byrne grounds up the middle. Brandon Lawrence is nowhere to go, though, as they were playing in. TCU's able to score on the fielders, on the ground out, I should say. Byrne grounds out at first, but scores Davis, and TCU increases their lead 4-0. Trey Richardson's up next. 1 out now. Tracy Smith, though, will come and pull Keyser first before we do see Richardson. So Keyser, 1 run, gets 1 out, walks the bases in the process. And we will see who Tracy Smith tags to come in from the bullpen. There's some strategy here. If you're down 4-0, do you put in a guy like Jacob Denner or Noah Renard? Or do you save them for a possible relief situation tomorrow or Sunday where you might be winning in that situation? Michigan will tag Barr to come in. There's Kurt Barr. He's a freshman from San Joaquin, Ontario. So they'll give him adequate time to warm up. Just for you all, Kurt Barr is the 30th overall prospect in Michigan. Two-time Catholic League All-League, two-time first-team All-State, two-time academic All-State. He was a Dream Team Select and won a state championship in 2021. He was originally born in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. He's currently started one game against UC Irvine. He had one strikeout, one walk, 2 hit by pitches, but gave up no runs. So we'll see how the freshman right-hander Kurt Barr does here on a big stage in Minute Maid Park. Trey Richardson comes in now. Here's the pitch. Squeeze bunt, gets it down. Nice bunt there by Trey Richardson. He gets tagged out by Van Remortel nonetheless. Got far enough down the first base line where he was able to score. Nunez did his job, and just like that, the Horned Frogs added to their lead. They're now winning 5-0. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Bishop stands in now for TCU. Bishop, one for 3 on the day. So he fouls one back. He's a triple, but also a strikeout and a pop fly to left field. Bishop's batting .250, 8 RBIs, no home runs. Nice curveball there by Barr. Slurves in there, and it's an 0-2 count, 2 outs. Now Barr just needs one more strike to put him away, and he'll get out of the inning. Here's the pitch by Barr. Bishop's able to line it down to center field off the end of the bat. He'll score another. And Kurt Barr put an 0-2 count. Couldn't curve the curveball enough, and Bishop was able to take it to center field for a little bloop single. 6-0 Horned Frogs lead. Boyer stands in now. Boyer's had a single past Mitch Voigt in the 7th inning. Looking to do some more damage. Strike one from Barr. 6-0 TCU. It was just 1-0, it felt like a minute ago. But TCU in the last 2 innings have put together a 2-run inning and a 3-run inning respectively. As Barr bounces one. Sotra slides it down, and he's out by a mile. He gets him stealing. Bishop tries to steal on a bounce ball right in front of Gabe Sotris, and the Michigan State transfer is able to get him out by a mile. Kurt Barr gets out of the inning. Nonetheless, TCU scores 3 more to add to their lead. They're winning 6-0, as I was saying. It was just 1-0 a little bit ago. But in baseball, things can change very quickly. And for Cole Fontenelle, hit a 2-run homer over the left field wall on his first pitch he sees in the game. 8th inning comes along, and Jake Keyser hits 1, walks 2. Barr comes in, gives up 1. And just like that, Michigan's losing 6-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's a few ways to go about this one. You can, of course, keep playing and play hard, and that's probably what they will do. But most of all, this is a learning experience for this team. This team's young, as I said. They're inexperienced. They have very few returners from last year's NCAA tournament team. They lost their coach. They lost their assistant coaches. And really all Tracy Smith had was a fall to see who he's really playing with. None of these guys are his recruits. None of these guys are his own players. None of these guys, he doesn't have the rapport with them that Bakich might have even had. So it's a really interesting experience as a fan, as a journalist, in my perspective, and for you guys too, to see how Tracy Smith not just coaches these games, but how he handles these losses. How does this team bounce back tomorrow, Sunday, and then, of course, on Wednesday at home against Oakland? Wednesday, of course, is the game that they can win pretty easily, and that might be their first win as they face two very strong competitors in Louisville and Texas Tech after this one. But it will just be very interesting to see how this team bounces back after this first portion of the season where they're currently 4-4 and are looking at being 4-5 on the season. We have a pitching change from TCU. Savage comes in now. He replaces Ryan Vanderhee. Savage is a 5.19 ERA this season in 3 games, 8.2 innings pitched. He's allowed 10 hits, and he's 0-1 on the season, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. Greg Pace Jr. stands in. He's 0 for 2 Ks. Big Ten Freshman of the Week as he launches one into right center. Nunez is under it, though, and he'll make the catch. Greg Pace Jr. just cannot find the barrel of the bat right now. As I said, he did win Big Ten Freshman of the Week previous to this one. He had a 3-run home run against Cal State Fullerton and triples in back-to-back games, and that's why he won Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Nonetheless, he just cannot find his bat today. As Tito Flores stands in now. Cody Jeffress stands in. Flores is on deck. Jeffress 0 for 3 himself. The University of San Diego transfer. Shortstop for Michigan. Started all 8 games for them there. Here's Jeffress. High and outside by Savage. 1-2 is the count to him. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Michigan's down 6-0. Outside. 2-2 is your count. Michigan just cannot find a way to score. They had one huge scoring opportunity, and that was in the 5th inning. They bases loaded, no outs, and just could not seem to convert it anywhere. Jeffress grounds out to the second baseman, Trey Richardson. And just like that, they're 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. Ted Burton comes up on deck. Tito Flores comes up to bat. Flores, who's 0 for 3. Another one of those players who he will get hot, and you got to wait for him to get hot. McCrenn's batting .200. Only has 7 hits on the season. 0 for 3 today. First pitch of Flores, and it goes back. Almost comes to us. Just hits the top of the net, though. I'm sitting here behind the dugout in the press box. Beautiful Minute Maid Park. Got my own booth. Beautiful stadium, and it's just amazing to be here in Houston, Texas, despite seeing Michigan losing with the beautiful weather. And we'll be back out tomorrow, so Michigan will have another chance if they cannot figure out a way to score 7 runs here in the last inning in the 3rd. Ball outside, 2-1's the count, Tito Flores. Here's the pitch. Flores hits a grounder to the shortstop. Running throw, and it's on the money. What a throw right there by Taylor to throw out Tito Flores. And just like that, the 8th is over. Michigan held scores once again. They have 4 hits on the day, 1 error. So TCU 6 for 6 runs as we enter the 9th inning, as both teams will have one more chance to put some runs on the board. Just waiting for the 9th inning to get started here in Houston, Texas at Minute Maid Park. My name is Jake Singer. We've had an interesting one on hand. Michigan, just no offense on the day. TCU struggling for most of the game, but 2 home runs saved them as they had one in the 4th, the solo, and then one in the 7th with a 2-run homer. And that man who hit that 2-run homer is coming up first here for TCU. It's Cole Fontenelle. We have a new pitcher here for the Wolverines. That is Cam Hart, the senior. They actually list him as an infielder, but he will be on the mound for the Wolverines here in the 9th inning. He has 1 inning pitched this season against UC Irvine. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Last season he was not with the team, but in 2021 he appeared in 9 games. He had an RBI single and a victory over Ohio State. 2020, of course, the season was canceled, and he was pretty solid at prep in 2019 at Lansing, at one season at Lansing Community College. He's from Armanda, Michigan. We'll see what he's about. Cam Hart, first pitch, hits the dirt and almost the feet of the batter, Boyers. Michigan just looking to get out of this one. Regroup. We got 3 games this weekend, so obviously you're going to try to save your best pitchers for those games, especially in a game where it might be a little more out of reach. Cam Hart throws one. Boyers rockets one. A little over Greg Pace's head, but Greg Pace is able to retreat, find it, and he makes the first catch for out number 1. Cole Fontenelle coming in. He had the 2-run homer in the 7th inning on the first pitch he saw as he was pinch hitting. Especially against a guy like Cam Hart. We'll see if he does any more damage against him. Cam Hart needs to stay close to the strike zone, but not too close, and fire it in there. High and inside, ball 1 to Fontenelle. Second pitch on the way. Fontenelle swings and misses right through it. He was looking to swing for the fences there. Could not find the ball, though. We have a 1-1 count now. Cole Fontenelle with the homer against Cam Hart, who did not play a single game for Michigan last season. Cole Fontenelle swings through the second one, though. And that's a 1-2 count now. Strike 2. Cam Hart is also a utility player. Batted 100 in 2021 in 9 games. 2-2 the count now. 2020, he batted .217. He started 5, played an 8. In 23 at-bats, he had 5 hits. He's drawn 1 walk and 1 strikeout to this point. And strike 3 gets Cole Fontenelle. So Fontenelle, who hit a blasting home run against Connor O'Halloran, Michigan's ace, strikes out to Cam Hart here in the 9th inning. 2 outs now for Brody Green. Brody Green came in the 7th inning. Pinch hit, struck out. He's been playing third base recently. He doesn't have a single hit on the season. He's drawn 1 walk to this point. He has an on-base percentage of .333. High and outside, though, ball 1 to Brody. Pitch on the way. Right down the middle. Nice strike there by Cam Hart. Green steps back in. We're here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 outs, 1-1 count. High and inside, though. Ball 2. 2-1's the count now. So Michigan will need to score 7 runs here in the bottom of the 9th inning minimum to win this game. They need to score 6, I should say, to keep this game going. As Green swings through one right down the middle. Just blew it right by him, 2-2 the count. So if Michigan cannot score those 6 runs, they will have to move on to Texas Tech tomorrow, arguably an even better team than this Texas Christian University team. And we'll be looking to see Chase Allen tomorrow. The junior came in last year's relief pitcher. He found himself as the number 3 starter behind O'Halloran and Cameron Weston this year. He has been Michigan's number 2 to this point. And then on Sunday against Louisville, it'll be really interesting to see who they decide to tap. They've gone with Jacob Denner in the past. No Renard 2. Green skies one in the infield. Who will choose it? Jeffress has it. Jeffress makes the catch. And we're out of the top of the 9th inning. Michigan will have its last ups, seeing if they can score 6 to 7 runs. Putting this game away here in Houston, Texas. Stay right there. Welcome back to everybody to Minute Maid Park. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning of the Shriners Children's College Classic, game number 2. Michigan is facing off against TCU. 6-0 currently. Michigan has last ups right now. We will see Ted Burton, Gabe Sotris, and Jake Marty here with Burton up first. Ball 1 outside. Savage is still in here for TCU, the 4.66 ERA. Lowered a little bit last inning, outside. Ball 2, Ted Burton. Burton had a single in the 6th inning, strikeout in the 4th, ground out in the 1st. Here's the pitch to Burton, and he finds the strike zone finally. Strike number 1, 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch, and they're going to call time, umpire's time. Play ball once again. Savage winding up. Burton, quick swing. Strike number 2. Gone with the inside. 2-2 count now. No outs here in the bottom of the 9th for your Michigan Wolverines. Burton lines it. Right field. That has the distance. But an amazing catch by the TCU right fielder, Davis. Unbelievable. Austin Davis goes up over the wall, ricochets off the wall, and comes down with the ball somehow. I am shocked. I am stunned right now. Ted Burton almost had a leadoff home run here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Austin Davis says, Gabe Soder just gets hit by the pitch. He'll go to the first base. But let's go back to this. I wish you all could have seen it. If you have SportsCenter Top 10 Expect Austin Davis's catch tomorrow. That is on an MLB stadium. Over the wall. Eyes closed. Bangs off the wall and somehow has the ball in his glove. That is amazing to see from Austin Davis. Let's resume action, though. As I said, Gabe Sotris got hit by the first pitch he saw, so he's at first base now. Jake Marty stands in. 2 hits in the day. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles. 1 to center field, 1 infield single he hustled out. Then he flied out to right field in the 6th inning. Lows, though. 1-1's the count. Jake Marty, the lefty, has had a very solid day today. Of the 4 hits that the Wolverines have, he has 2 of them. Marty grounds to the second baseman. Trey Richardson throws to second base. Looks to go 2, but Marty's too quick for that. They call Sotris out at second. Marty goes to first with a fielder's choice. And now Michigan's down to their last out. Mitch Voigt, the freshman, the two-way player, the third baseman today, but he's pitched before, stands in. Voigt is 0 for 2 today. He also was reached base by a hit-by pitch in that 5th inning. Voigt pops one. Playable for the first baseman. Just barely hits the net, goes out of play. Mitch Voigt still alive. A few kids got out of the way. Excited to get the ball there. Sitting next to Michigan's first base dugout. 0-1 to Mitch, as Michigan is down to their final out of the game. Here's the pitch. Slow slider. Outside. 2-1's the count. Pitch. Voigt fouls that back. Now Michigan is down to their last strike of the ball game. Mitch Voigt, the freshman, batting .235, looking to make some magic happen. He has the power we saw in high school. And goes right to the middle, strike 3. Mitch Voigt gets caught looking. And that is how Michigan's first game in the Shriners Children's College Classic ends. TCU 6, Michigan nothing. Your losing pitcher of the game is Connor O'Halloran, and your winning pitcher of the game is Ryan Vanderhee. Michigan will look to bounce back tomorrow against Texas Tech in the same stadium. They'll be playing at 11 Central Time, noon Eastern Time. I will be on that call as well. You can come back to WCBN Sports for that. I'll post it on Twitter. You can also find the link here on the YouTube channel. I wish you all a good night. Go Blue. Thank you all for listening to WCBN Sports here on YouTube. Come back tomorrow for more Michigan baseball. Look out tonight for Michigan hockey as they take on in the Big Ten tournament, and Michigan men's basketball tomorrow as they take on Indiana. Thank you all for listening. Come back tomorrow. My name is Jake Singer. Good night, and go Blue.